Hi there folks, today's video will be voiced over. As you probably know from my previous video, my mother came to stay with us for the holidays. So today's video will be about making banitsa, which is a traditional Bulgarian filo type of pastry. Traditionally, the filo pastry was made by hand, by pulling the dough into very thin layers, sheets. But nowadays you can buy the pre-made sheets from the store. You can see here my mother cracking 5 or 6 eggs, and those will be enough for 500 grams of filo pastry, which is the size at which they are sold. After you crack and beat the eggs, you add some vegetable oil to them, and then a teaspoon of baking soda is mixed with a cup of yogurt until it starts foaming, and then that mixture is poured into the beaten eggs. After that, you have to prepare some cheese. In this case we use homemade sheep milk cheese, white cheese, which is the closest thing to a feta. It's a tasty breakfast type pastry, which is a regular here. We make one probably every week. You can also use different fillings for that. You can use a garden greens mix, which you saute with butter. You can also use finely chopped leeks, and there is even a minced meat filling for this type of pastry. You can see the mother repeating the process multiple times from that point. It's a very simple thing. You just spread some of the eggs and yogurt mixture on top of the filo pastry with a spoon. You then crumble some cheese evenly on top of the pastry sheet. You then roll the sheet and put it in a round baking tray. You can also use some vegetable oil to spread on top of the sheets. This will make the whole pastry a bit more oily, but also more delicious. And that step is repeated until you run out of dough sheets. The idea is to have them circle around in your round baking tray or baking pot. After the last sheet is put in the center of the pan, then you pour some vegetable oil on top of that, and if you have any mixture of the eggs and yogurt, you can pour that on top as well. And then the banitsa is ready to be oven baked. The oven must be heated to 200 degrees, and then you bake the whole thing for about 20 to 25 minutes. While my mother was working on the banitsa, the wife and the kids started doing some Christmas cards. So they took some craft materials downstairs. The cards are made from colorful Italian cardstock bases, which I get from my office as offcuts from our regular work. And on top of those we glue handmade paper pieces, which the wife makes, and then you can paint with watercolors or crayons or whatever on top of the handmade paper for decoration. Those cards will be used for our Christmas gifts and also for a charity market which the kids have at school. And while they were doing their crafts, the banitsa finished baking, and as is customary here, it's mostly eaten while it's hot, so I didn't manage to take a shot of it while it was taken out of the oven. And what I have is a half-eaten banitsa in the pan, and you can see the texture of it. It's soft and spongy. So that was all for today, folks, and I'll see you tomorrow.